Every great protagonist in fictional history always knew what they wanted, what they needed, and what it takes to become the greatest version of themselves. But you, my friend, you don't know any of that, and you feel stuck. You feel like you're living your own life on the side note, and you want to change that. You want to be in control, but you don't know what to do. Well, fear not, stranger. I have just the thing you need. Meet Jordan Belfort. Jordan grew up in a middle class family in Queens, New York. Nothing extraordinary. Nothing that would make you point at him and say, that kid is going somewhere. But inside, he was suffocating. Not because his life was terrible, but because ordinary felt like a cage to him. The discomfort of knowing you're capable of more than the life you're currently living. So he chased it. He tried everything early, even ran a meat and seafood business before he was 20. It failed completely, left him broke. But he didn't stop there. He walked into a stock brokerage firm, LF Rothschild, and on his very first day, something clicked. The noise, the energy, the phones ringing off the hook, money moving at the speed of a conversation. This wasn't just a job. This was a language he already spoke fluently without ever having learned it. And then he meets Mark Hanna. Now, Hanna is a side character in this story, but he plays a role that almost every protagonist journey has, the mentor who hands you the map. Even if the map is morally questionable, Hanna was everything Jordan wanted to become. The aura, the ease, the total lack of apology for wanting more. He moved through the world like a man who had already won and was just enjoying the extra time. But more important than the lifestyle, Hanna handed Jordan a philosophy. He told him, nobody actually knows what's going to happen in the market. Not Buffett, not anyone. The stocks go up, the stocks go down. Nobody can predict it. The job isn't prediction. The job is confidence. Sell certainty even when there is none. Take that completely out of finance for a second. Isn't that life? None of us know what's going to happen. Nobody has the full map. The people who move forward anyway, who act with conviction despite the uncertainty, are the ones who end up writing the story instead of waiting to read someone else's.
Holy fucking shit.
They called it Black Monday. No shit. By 4 p.m., the market had dropped 508 points.
The stock market crashes. The firm collapses overnight. Jordan Belfort walks out of that building with nothing but a briefcase and a hunger that has nowhere to go. This is the moment I want you to sit with. Not the crash itself, but what happens inside a person after the crash. Because this is where most people quietly give up. Not dramatically, not with a speech, just quietly. They take the collapse as a sign. They tell themselves, maybe this wasn't meant for me. And they downgrade the dream to something smaller, safer, and they call that wisdom. They call that being realistic. Jordan didn't do that. He found a listing in a newspaper for a job selling penny stocks. If you don't know what penny stocks are, they're the bottom of the barrel. Cheap, low value, incredibly hard to sell. Bought almost by people with very little money. No prestige, no glamour. The complete opposite of everything he had been chasing. He took the job anyway. And this is where I think the real story begins. Not on Wall Street, here, in a strip mall, selling stocks nobody wanted to people who could barely afford them. Because what Jordan did in that strip mall was refuse to treat it like a setback. He treated it like a laboratory. Every call was practice. Every rejection was data. He wasn't just surviving, he was getting sharper. He was developing what would eventually become one of the most devastating sales abilities anyone on Wall Street had ever seen. He could sell almost anything to almost anyone, not because the product was good, but because he believed in the moment that it was. Or more accurately, he had mastered the performance of belief so completely that the line between real and performed had dissolved entirely. He had weaponized Hannah's lesson. Certainty is a performance. And most people, most of us, are starving for someone who seems absolutely sure of something. Within months, he was making more money in that strip mall than most people make in a year. And then he had an idea. What if he built his own firm? What if he took everything he'd learned, the scripts, the psychology, the performance of certainty, and turned it into a system? What if he recruited a room full of hungry, young broke kids with nothing to lose and taught them everything he knew? That idea became
Gentlemen, welcome to Stratton Oakmont.
Stratton Oakmont. and Stratton Oakmont became a machine. At its peak, over 1,000 brokers, over $1.5 billion raised, more than 30 companies built from scratch. Jordan Belfort, the kid from Queens who failed at selling meat, was now throwing parties that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and making millions before lunch. His worldview by this point was fully formed and completely unapologetic. He genuinely believed that poverty was not a circumstance, it was a choice, a failure of hunger, a failure of will. He said it out loud.
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
Dark, yes. Extreme, absolutely. But understand what he was really saying underneath the arrogance. Your circumstances don't have to define your destination. That hunger, directed and sustained, can override almost any starting point. The problem, and this is important, is that his hunger had no moral compass attached to it. It was pure direction without any wisdom. He knew exactly what he wanted. He committed to it completely. He refused every obstacle. And he still destroyed everything. The fraud caught up with him, the FBI closed him, Stratton Oakmont collapsed. He lost the money, the houses, the empire. He went to prison. The dream he had built with such ferocious clarity, dismantled piece by piece in a courtroom. So here's the question this raises, and is the real question at the heart of this video. Belfort had clarity, he had hunger, he had commitment, more of all three than almost anyone you will ever meet, and he still ended up in a cell. So what does that tell you? It tells you that becoming the protagonist of your own life was never the hard part. Belfort became the protagonist the moment he refused to stay ordinary, the moment he walked into that strip mall and treated rejection like data. That part of the formula, he nailed it. The part he missed was smaller, quieter, and infinitely more important. He never once asked, who is this guy I'm becoming? Not what will I have, not what will I build. Who am I? The man making these calls, cutting these corners, stepping over these people, would I want to spend the next 40 years being him? He never asked. So the hunger just kept driving, with nobody checking the road. So here's how I'd actually put it. Becoming a protagonist, that's just deciding to stop being a side character in your own life. That's the easy part, relatively speaking. Most people never even get that far, and if you're watching this, you're probably already past it. But the real work, the part that actually determines how the story ends, is asking what kind of protagonist. Because hunger without a compass doesn't make you the hero, it just makes you move faster toward wherever you were already pointed. So ask yourself, honestly, the version of you that gets everything you're chasing right now, would you respect him? Would you want to be him? If yes, good, keep going. You're not just moving, you're moving somewhere worth arriving. If no, that's not failure. That's the most useful information you'll get all year. Because it means the hunger is fine. It's the direction that needs to change. Those who commit to nothing are distracted by everything. Find the thing, but before you point yourself at it, make sure it's actually pointing somewhere you'd be proud to land. That's how you become the protagonist of your own life. Not just any protagonist, one worth being. Thanks for watching. If this hit something for you, let me know in the comments and subscribe if you want more of this.